Okay, I guess you just learned, well, you already knew this for a long time, but it's come out that Chatham's #1 again in New Jersey Monthly. What's the feeling about that, just in general?
Yeah, when I received the phone call a couple of months ago, it was a little bit of a surprise, because I think anybody who receives the phone call from the publication indicating you are ranked #1 in anything, I think it's a little bit of a surprise. But you know, as I've said before, we don't work towards being #1. We work at what we are doing for students, what we're doing as a school as a whole. So I think that's really been our focus. The one thing I would say about this year's rankings is they have added additional categories that I think really encompasses a greater number of students in multiple areas. And what I mean by that is adding a number of students who take a visual or performing arts course that year was included. So the sole focus is not on academic achievement of the highest, I guess, the highest academic students in the building. It really is looking at a bigger cross-section, and I think that's having more students represent the whole. And so there's a lot of pride that goes into that. You know, as principal, that our kids are being successful, not only academically, but they're also well-rounded in the course selection that they have each year.
And the students, you know, they obviously graduate and go on to college at a high rate, but they also take a lot of advanced placement and do well on those tests.
The AP tests and AP scores still remain a part of it. They didn't add PARCC this year, so they didn't have any standardized test other than the AP. And the way that AP calculation came about, because our percentage is very, very high, it actually is calculated by the number of students who take an AP test divided by the number of 11th and 12th grade students in the school. So it appears through the rankings that almost every student in our building takes an AP course, and that's simply not the case. A high percentage take an AP course, but the calculation really brought in every student who takes at least one divided by the 11th and 12th graders. And again, our students, they do well. Our teachers do a fantastic job preparing our students, teaching our students. And so sitting for that AP exam is probably very similar to what they're dealing with assessments, you know, for the previous 8 months in school.
What do you think? So you're #1 in 2014 and now 2016. What do you think? Have you guys changed much since then, or are you? Obviously, it always changes what you're doing, but.
I wouldn't say the rankings and the publication certainly doesn't drive any change for us at all. It's looking at, you know, what's going on in a student's life, in a teenager's life in 2016 versus 2014 or 12 or any previous year. We also look at really what's best educationally, socially, and emotionally for our kids as well. One of those pieces, although it's not part of this ranking, is getting rid of final exams last year and having our summative assessments throughout the year as a whole. Personally, and I think most of our students and staff would agree, the whole atmosphere in our building in June last year was very, very different than ever before, when it was just full of stress, full of anxiety, full of how my grade's going to be affected by a single assessment. So we'll see a couple of years from now, you know, what the result of that might be. But I think we're always looking at our kids, at our school, at our community, and determining what are the best things we can do for Chatham, not necessarily to keep up with any other, you know, neighboring town.
They also seem to do a lot of internships at the end of the year, which kind of makes the seniors a little bit more productive as far as...
Yeah, we've had the senior internship program probably about 10 years now, and it grew from, in the beginning, 16, 17 kids. I think we have about 160 kids, so almost or just over half of our senior class. At that point of the year, they've gone through 3 3/4 of high school. They're prepared and ready to go to college, and I think the experience of doing the internship, it's invaluable. It allows them to focus on an interest that they have that they may want to pursue in college. It also allows them to recognize what they think they're interested in, they may not be. And then the third thing, which I think is also fantastic, is it provides a network. For those students, we have a number of students that come back after the internship. They come back after college the next summer, and they're working now for money in the same place they did their internship. So we think it's incredibly valuable for our seniors who really are ready to leave Chatham. We provide that final opportunity for them, and I think it's worked out very, very well.
Now, you've kept this quiet for a while because you had to. What are you going to do, like, when school starts to recognize this, maybe?
Yeah, we will certainly speak to our staff about it, although they've already been informed, and our kids will be congratulated for what they've done. But again, personally, our kids are congratulated and have a lot of pride every day for what they do. This is a nice recognition. I would also tend to think that the community, once this is out and online, the community is going to recognize it, and they do a lot of celebration as well. So I think it's probably, as I said back in 2014, it's a great recognition for our kids. It's a great recognition for the staff and for our district. But I think beyond that, our community, they really give us the tools, if you will, and the opportunities to do special things here.